Hey everyone, welcome to Icons here on Yahoo Esports, where we get to know some of the luminaries in the fighting game community. I'm Chen, aka jchensor, your host, and one of the great things that I've had the benefit of doing, being in the fighting game community, the FGC, for so many decades, is I've gotten to know so many people, become close friends with a lot of guys in the community. And it's really been great to see a lot of these guys from years ago grow and become key members in the fighting game community. And that's kind of what we want to highlight. And so for today, the first person that we have brought here, and this is the whole point, you may not know him, but this is Nguyen, and you are basically the CEO or...
I'm the co-founder, president, and CEO currently of Level Up, but essentially the guy who made the idea to come up with the company that we have today.
And of course, if people are not familiar, Level Up, of course, is the team that, right now, most people know Alex Vai as being part of that team, and they run Wednesday Night Fights, and they run Southern California Regionals. You guys were just recently, for example, flown out to do Texas Showdowns. So you produce a bunch of different events.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but I mean, what's interesting about that, that's what you do now.
Yes.
But I've known you for years,
yes.
right? I have known
long
you
time,
for
James.
a very, very long time. And I don't think a lot of people actually know about your actual fighting game background. Like, some people might just think, I'm just some dude who...
Yeah, I just came in and said, oh, I'm going to just make a company that does events, right? No, yeah, definitely not the case.
Yeah, I mean, look, I even remember a long time ago at Southern Hills Golfland, I remember playing you in some CVS2 tournaments. We've definitely had matches before.
Guilty Gear as well. And everything, yeah.
So, I mean, so for people who don't know, talk about your actual fighting game background. Where did you start? Where did your love for fighting games come from?
Yes, so just like all of us, right? Us old guys, we started with the Nintendo Atari era, right? As kids.
Well, you're going way back.
I'm going way back. That's kind of where the gaming stuff started. That's where my love for gaming came from. Is just starting at that very young age.
Right.
And then that really gave me the goal to say, I want to make games when I grow up.
Yeah.
Right. That became my focus, going to school and college and whatnot.
Learning programming, probably.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, I did C++, C, all that stuff, HTML, Java, all the cool stuff. But it wasn't until I hit college when I said, maybe games isn't where I wanted to go. I want to do something else with the programming stuff.
Okay.
But along that trek, I found Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 in 6th grade.
Yes.
This is like, oh, okay, I'm dating myself way back. But that's when it came out in arcades. We didn't have Super Nintendo yet.
Right.
So it was just a random trip to the bank with my dad. He's like, hey, Dad, can I go to the pizza parlor? And there I saw my first Street Fighter 2 machine. Right. I saw no one was playing it, so it was on demo mode. So I saw like E Honda and Zangief. I'm like, this game looks pretty cool. And I see 2 joysticks. What's going on here? So I asked, hey, Dad, can I have like 50 cents? So I popped 50 cents, and I played, and I picked E Honda because he was fat. I was really chubby back then. So I was like, okay, why not, right? Why not choose that guy? So then I didn't know any special moves. I just knew that I had 6 buttons. Like, damn, this game has way so many buttons. Nintendo has only 2 buttons. Makes no sense to me. But I just kept pushing buttons, jumping. And I just kept mashing buttons. I was literally in Marvel mode, smash buttons. All of a sudden, there's the 100 hand slap. Like, what just happened here? I did this 100 hand slap. That's the only move I did the entire match.
Right.
Of course, Zangief bodied me because he can SPD you like right through things, So from there, I fell in love with Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
So I started Researching it, whatever I can, by going through other arcades and said, hey, how do you do these moves? How do you, play this character? And he's like, well, look at the moves list. Well, not every arcade machine has a moves list. I'm like, what is going on here? This is crazy. So I can tell this is a high caliber arcade already, right?
Okay.
So from there, Champ Edition came out. And then I think prior to that, the Nintendo version, Super Nintendo version came out. And
you cracked out.
Yeah, oh my God, $75 for this cartridge.
Right.
Asking my mom, please drive me around and get this game. She's like, why? Why do you need this for? You had Nintendo already. Like, you don't understand.
It's more expensive than all of the other games
too.
Exactly.
And she didn't understand why I had to have it. Because I had Nintendo, so I had to buy the Super Nintendo to play Street Fighter 2.
You didn't even have a Super Nintendo.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Okay. Not yet. So then at that time, I bought that. Plus, it came with Super Mario World.
Right.
And then That's where my lab was, the Super Nintendo, on the controller.
Yep.
Remember, we didn't have joysticks back then.
We didn't even have training mode. There was no
That is
training
right.
mode.
That is right. That is right. It was pause, try to figure out how to do moves, unpause, and do the move. And
Did you ever do the thing where you tried to test combos by blocking with your foot?
oh yes, definitely. Or I had brothers at that time. He's like, hey, hold this controller and just hold it down back
Right.
or hold back. It's like, well, I want to play. He's like, no, let me try a combo out. So I would try to do the fierce fireball, fierce uppercut, then I tried Guile. Guile was my favorite in the arcade because I had the glitches.
Right. Yeah. And he was good.
Right.
He was good.
And so then, that's when I would challenge my friends at that
Okay,
time.
okay.
We do after school activities, so we always stop by the video store nearby the middle school and just said, hey, let's play some games. They botted me, of course, because they were better on the joystick. I didn't know how to play joystick. I was a pad warrior back then, right? Yes, I'm a pad warrior.
Started as the pad warrior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But from there, Champ Edition came out, Hyper Fighting came out, and then, of course, Super and Super Turbo. And it just grew from there.
Right.
And then once I found out that there was Golfland, I think that was the Alpha 1, Alpha 2 days.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how did you run into Southern Hills? So Southern Hills Golfland, it's just a mini golf / arcade / like party place that you could throw parties for your kids or whatever like that. But it also became the mecca of fighting games in Southern California.
Definitely.
It was basically where everyone went to play, including Alex Weig, who would later become your business partner.
Right, exactly.
But how did you find Southern Hills Golfland?
Yeah, so the story is actually quite interesting because after I graduated from the Super Nintendo and actually started playing more in arcades, started playing Alpha 1, Alpha 2, and then pretty much all my friends didn't want to play me anymore. They bodied me. I bodied them. And,
Oh, okay.
They would body me in their games. I bodied them in Street Fighter. And like, I don't want to play you anymore. It's like, fine, okay, no problem.
Right.
So I just hung out in this liquor store in Westminster. And that's kind of where I honed my skills. And then at the same time, I was taking Taekwondo classes.
Oh, okay.
So Street Fighter actually inspired me to take Taekwondo, right? I wanted to learn how to.
Okay.
Can I really do a shoryuken in real life, But more it was just for exercise, but as well as learning the art because you're playing these characters and you want to know if you can actually do these moves for real, right? If he's based on something for real.
Maybe you.
Maybe me.
I didn't end up in any martial arts classes, but
Yeah. So I mean, I used to do splits, kicks, all that stuff, right?
Okay.
So then there was a kid. You know him as Shigo BMX now.
Oh, nice.
Right,
Okay.
but he also knew another friend, which was also a classmate in that class, and he knew Crack Prawn.
Oh,
Michael
Mikey.
Pham.
Yeah.
So then he's like, hey, I have a friend that plays Alpha 2, which was Mikey at the time. I want to come to my house during the weekend and play. So I went to his house, and then I met Mikey there, and we played Alpha 2, and we went back and forth. He would body me with his characters, of course, and I would play Rolento and Shinakuma, cheap character, right?
Pick a top tier.
Right. And then he told me, why don't you come to this arcade? I'm like, where's it at? Oh, it's in Stanton. So he said, go check out Alt Games SF2, the bulletin boards, right?
Okay.
Read up on a little about it, and then come by during the weekend. So I did, and then that's where I didn't really. I met people, but I didn't really talk to them. I was really shy at the time.
Yeah.
So I met Alex. I think. Callie, Sean, Rob,
Right, of course.
Watson was there as well. They met Wizard and of course Shigo Boss at the time. And I went there to play, and I kind of kept to myself. I was like, man, these guys are really good, really intimidated. And then I think one weekend, Mikey calls me up and says, hey, you want to go to Vae's house? I'm like, you mean the guy in the tape, Alpha 3 champion?
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, let's go. So he went to his house, and I see the machine that he wins.
Right.
He won during that tournament.
He has
I'm like, oh my God, he has a Capcom cabinet. I'm like, holy cow, in his home.
Yeah.
And it was
people don't even understand like how amazing that was to have a cabinet at home because console versions were not arcade perfect. And so when you could actually have the arcade machine at home, that was like bragging status.
It
right
was.
there.
It was. And the next step was to have a joystick made, custom made.
Yeah.
It cost like $200, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I went to his house, I saw him and Rob just playing Alpha 3. And I played a couple games. I got bodied, got jacked up, right? Alpha combos and custom combos. Like, come on, dude, leave me alone. So we're there for like maybe a couple hours. And then rarely spoke to Alex. He's like, hey, what's up, man? And talked to Rob for a little bit. But from there, I just kept going to Golfland and starting to befriend you guys. And I met you at one point during a tournament. And then it just became to the point where I think I can invest time into playing. Or I can still focus on school and then do something else. And that's kind of where you saw me capturing footage of tournaments at Golfland.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to go into, because you're obviously now more known for technical organization, everything like that. And it did start with tournament footage. So just to kind of give a good background history to people watching this. B3 was one of the first big tournaments, right? And did you make it to B3?
I did not make the B3.
Okay, you did not make
or
it.
B4. I missed B4 by just a final overlap, and I couldn't go. I was
okay. Yeah, B3 was Battle by the Bay, which took place in San Francisco. It was the first true national gathering, it felt like, of players. And it wasn't even really that national, because not that many East Coast people came, right? But, it was NorCal, SoCal, all these things. And there's footage out there of this tournament. But if you look at the footage, it's all camcorder over the shoulder, like, please let me swerve around this. Oh, this player moved his head, like I can't see it anymore. And so a lot of the footage was very, it wasn't great quality. It
was amateur footage.
Yeah, it was amateur footage. But at one point in time, two guys, Tom and Tony Cannon, started Shoryuken.com. They're also the guys who created Evolution, right? But we'll get to that in a little bit as well. But and then you figured out a way all of a sudden to start capturing the footage directly off of the machines. And you started uploading those match footage to Shoryuken.com.
That is right.
And so people started downloading their real media videos.
I mean, it was a struggle. I mean, it was interesting because I know in the past someone else captured Alpha 3 footage before.
Oh, okay.
But then I was like, I never saw that guy again. And for me, again, I saw a vision. It was, we have this great arcade. We have this great West Coast, family at Golfland. And I know about the NorCal versus SoCal.
Right.
Like, how can I bring exposure to us other than just to the players? So I said, hold on, let me go save up $900 to get this camcorder. I went to Best Buy randomly one weekend and said, I'm just gonna buy this camcorder and play with it. It was a Sony Handycam, mini DV, so $900, credit card swipe, let's do it. Right?
So this wasn't even something that you just had. You bought it specifically to, wow, okay.
The excuse to my mom was, hey, Mom, I use this for family videos. When really the result was just to get footage at Golfland directly from the arcade and to get you guys on film too.
Are you sure you want your mom to find out about these things?
Mom, it's okay. I am investing back into her. She helped me grow up and get a lot of stuff I do obtain, like my tuition and all that stuff. So it's all going back to her.
Well, let me ask you this though. Like, so you decided to buy this camcorder.
Yeah.
How did you even learn to capture the footage off of the machine? Because I remember it was like not easy to do. Because I remember seeing you on the cabinets and like there would be problems with like some JAMA hardware or something like that. Where did you learn all that craft?
It's interesting because I've always tinkered into electronics. Right? I was always fascinated by the fact that if you do something here, it results into something there. So when it came to the whole cabinet issue, I saw overhead on above the main cabinet that we used to always play on for tournament, there was a TV that had the same footage. I'm like, how do they do that? So me being sneaky, I looked around, like I see a cable here, a cable there. There's got to be something in here that gives me access to direct footage. So then at that point, that's when I befriended Chico Boss. I'm like, hey, I want to capture footage of tournaments here and see what I can do with it. And his thing was, as long as you credit Golfland, I'll give you access to the cabinet. So then he's like, okay. He opens it up and I look at it like, oh, okay, it's actually a board made by MAS. MAS, the guys made MAS sticks? It was a board that plugged into the JAMA port, and then it converted the signals into something I can use like composite or S-video. And then there was a bypass for the original JAMA signal, which went to the cabinet's TV. So from there, I was like, okay.
Easy.
Got it.
Now,
no problem.
Right?
So then I would research the MAS board and see what things you can tinker on there, like color and stuff like that, and sync. So all it was a matter of just connecting to my camcorder, And I thought that was it. Wrong answer. When it came to CPS2, that's like the hardware that Street Fighter Alpha 3 and 1 were on. It was fine, but when you went to Naomi hardware,
and it went to like CVS2,
CVS1, CVS2,
MVC2,
yep,
yeah,
it caused nightmares because the signal worked on a different sync.
Okay.
And every time you connect it, it would not always get the signal. You get like scrambles, and then you kind of have to like, all right, do this all the time, make sure you get it. And even
Unplug and plug it in,
right. Even then, once you get that signal, it wasn't clean. You would see like the artifacts and the scale lines and stuff like that. But at least it was still watchable. Right. So from there, I was like, okay, Shaco Boss, like I got this. Let me do what I gotta do. And then I just captured footage every weekend we had a tournament. And the struggle was you had to go through the tape, not digital. You had to watch the tape, capture it. So if I had like 4 hours of footage, I had to like sit there for 4 hours recording tape onto the hard drive.
And digitize it, then cut it up.
That's right.
And because remember, this was back like with dial-up modems. Like, so you were doing a lot of the direct footage. I was doing combo videos at the time.
Yes.
So we were kind of running through similar problems where we had to make the videos really small, very downloadable, and both of us would put the stuff on Shoryuken.com. That's where all the stuff would get hosted.
Yeah.
And, man, back then.
That's when we learned about codecs.
So I made the joke about Real Player. Like people probably don't even know what Real Player is, but a lot.
.rm guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, here's a funny question. I just want to ask: do you still have a lot of your old footage?
Surprisingly, yes. I have a bin of my digital tape because I was very stubborn. I didn't want to erase over tape unless it was like a really bad tournament. Then I would overwrite it. But I have a bin of like 30 tapes of our old footage. And one of the projects I want to at least at one point get a Kickstarter for is to get hardware to read and digitize that stuff. So it's got a little project I have in the future because I think it's important.
Dude, let me know, because I have a bunch of mini DVs from like past Evos and stuff like that. We can like team up.
Yeah, we should. Kickstarter.
But I mean, like the reason why I asked, because I still have on my hard drive some of those videos that I've downloaded that you ripped and everything. So I still have one of my favorite videos there where I actually beat Alex Vai in a CVS1 tournament.
Nice. I actually had that. I think it was at Family Fun Center, wasn't it? Where you beat him?
No, it was at Southern Hills Golfland.
That was Scott that almost beat Alex.
I beat Alex in winner's bracket, then he beat me in losing in the grand final.
I might have that one. I might have it. I still have my digital files on zip disk.
Oh, nice. Zip disk. Dude, we're like talking about, like everyone at home is watching this, are like, Real Player, zip disk? What is all VHS? What? Like, what are you guys even talking about?
I still got VHS tapes too.
Oh yeah, I still have a VHS player in my home right now. So
just for those reasons.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, so you were pretty much one of the first people to actually start putting direct feed captured footage out there.
Definitely.
And that kind of inspired a lot of other people to start doing the same, right?
Yeah. Once Golfland got the spotlight and like, oh man, these guys they think they're hot stuff, and I'm like, that was the point. I did my job, right? I did my job. And from there, that's when Jason Wilson found out about me, and he asked me to go to Family Fun Center in LA to do one of his tournaments and capture that as well. So it really, started to snowball that direct footage was the thing. Which led me to the Evo guys asking me to come on for B5.
Oh, see, you keep, like, I have like the next question, and you keep going there before I get a chance to ask, because I know, so there's this, B5 was the tournament. So basically B3 was Battle by the Bay, and then they kept the joke going, and so they called it B4 was the next event, and then that happened years later, and then the direct year after that was B5. Now you first got involved for B4 or B5?
So B4, like I said, I missed because I had a final and I couldn't go. And then B5 was the one that actually was on the staff.
Okay, and there's even like, I still remember there's basically, I don't want to call it B-roll footage, but there's like, hey, check out the event, like with Seth Killian going around interviewing people and doing all that stuff. And a lot of that footage, when you see there, when they're setting up a lot of the big giant 33-inch cabinets and everything like that, you're in that footage and you're like tinkering with everything, and you can see that you've been doing this stuff and helping all along. But yeah, I was gonna ask, how did you get involved with that? And it was because of the direct footage capture.
Yeah, essentially, after a year or so, I just keep putting footage on SRK. And remember back then we had bandwidth issues. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was so expensive.
Dude,
right?
I mean, so we were just at Texas Showdown, right? And one of the TOs for Texas Showdown is Javi,
Right.
Javier Moreno.
That's right.
And I was even joking with him there because Shoryuken.com, when it first used to host all the media footage, was hosting it off of a server at his work.
Right. Yep. Good times.
Yeah,
Very good
it
times.
was all ghetto grassroots kind of stuff. We did whatever we had
had
to
to
do.
get the footage out there. We had to build the site. You know, but yeah, because of that, they asked me to come on to do direct footage for B5. And again, I brought my trusty camcorder. The Canons had their camcorder, so we pretty much had one here for one game and for the other game. And oops, sorry.
That's okay.
And then from there, I became more involved with the staff. Started helping them do more of the logistics parts of it, do more of the ancillary things while they handle doing the brackets and things like that.
Right.
But yeah, and eventually I met other people who started taking over the footage part.
Right.
I got more into the production side of it. So I would play DJ for like the intros and start contributing ideas and also handling more of the pricing stuff as well. So I started learning a lot of the TOing part with my involvement during those times.
Those Evo years, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, so both of us were kind of in a similar position, right? So obviously Evolution, so B5 next year became Evo Evolution 2002, which
UCLA.
Was, in UCLA. And that was pretty much the first year I started getting involved in the Evo stuff because I was the one going to UCLA. I talked to the guy who ran the arcade and I was like, hey, can we run this in the ballroom upstairs? And so that's kind of how I got involved. And then the two of us were basically kind of like the second level of like Evo guys.
Yeah, we became like the lackeys, the top dogs, right?
Right, exactly. And we did that for a very long time.
Yes, we did.
Now, obviously, like I moved on to more like commentary kind of stuff, so like I'm not involved in the production. And you kind of started moving on towards Level Up.
Yes.
Right, and this is kind of where this started happening because Evo started streaming their tournaments. They started streaming their tournaments. And then it was around was it around 2008 when Street Fighter 4 first came out?
Actually, no, you forget. Remember when we were first at Green Valley Ranch Casino, when we dabbed into streaming and the internet was so bad we couldn't get a signal properly to the internet. So I think that's when the Canons actually want to start streaming then.
Okay.
But back then, tool CDNs weren't really popular back then, right? It wasn't good enough for us to use like it is nowadays.
Right.
But yes, I think it was 2008-09 when streaming started to really rise up.
Right.
With Justin.tv, Ustream, live stream started to come out. So there's like CDNs out there, but it was still kind of expensive to use because you had to pay for a license, for unlimited bandwidth, no watermarks on your stuff, and things like that.
Okay. And then at that point in time, that is about when Level Up started coming together in a way, right?
Yeah.
So where did that come from? Because here, let me tell it from my perspective here, right? So this is what I saw.
Okay.
And obviously this is probably not true, right?
It could be partly true. We'll see.
I just remember that Gutex and Mike Ross, two prominent guys in the fighting game community, started doing like bar fights and everything like that, right? And they did bar fights too. And this is one of my favorite stories where they invited East Coast to come out and they fought against West Coast.
Right.
And they destroyed everyone in West Coast. And it was
we got wrecked.
It was a sad day. It was a sad day. But that kind of inspired Vae to go to Shiggle BMX's garage. So Daniel Tam, Shiggle BMX, who you mentioned earlier, right? He was having a weekly gathering in his garage for Street Fighter 4. Vae started going there and he started kind of reorganizing because he was like, I don't want SoCal to be this free anymore. Like, I need to level everyone up, right? And so he started doing that. And then AJ Papa started streaming from there. And then from there, that's kind of how I saw where like all this, the starts of like what Level Up became, right?
Sure.
But there was a lot more behind there, right?
Definitely.
There's a lot more that happened,
Yeah, so when, let me rewind a little bit back before our dark ages of FGC. So when I decided to focus mainly on my college career, which is 2002, right after UCLA.
Right,
I transferred to Long Beach State and just said, I got to focus on my degree, I got to finish this in 2 years, and I graduated in 2004. So once I graduated in 2004, I took a break from FGC and Evo. So when Evo was doing the different regions. Remember East, West, and
Yeah,
stuff like that?
East, Evo West.
Yeah, so I wasn't there
uh-huh.
as part of the staff, but I still attended as a player.
Okay,
Or just to visit you guys and say
Right,
hi
yeah.
and whatnot. And then once my career started, I just said, I was keep up with fighting games and still go to Evo, Green Valley, the Red Rock Casino, stuff like that. But I wasn't really so entangled in it where I was helping you guys monthly on Evo.
Right.
I was just there for support. And then 2008, when they announced Street Fighter 4 for arcade, October 2008, I remember this. I was sitting at my desk at DirecTV, which I still work at today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I saw the trailer drop. I'm like, oh my gosh, Street Fighter 4, finally. I literally was just like, right? And immediately, I thought of, can I do what I did back in the day? Was capture footage.
Interesting.
'Cause
Okay.
what I want to do was make a comeback, like a big comeback in FGC by doing what I did, but in a different way. So my idea was, all right, capture tournament footage, local footage, and put it somewhere. Because YouTube was popular now,
Yeah,
right? It was like the big thing now.
Yeah.
And people can put footage there and watch it. So like, okay, let me think. YouTube, me capturing footage, technology is better,
Right.
easy, no problem. Of course, it was arcade only, and I wasn't really in part of the arcade Street Fighter 4 days until they announced it for console in February 2009. That's when I caught wind of Alex training people, not at his house, but at he tried a LAN center before.
Right.
He tried other people's houses, and then eventually it just migrated to Daniel's garage.
Okay.
And that's where I was like, hey, that's really close to my house. Why don't I stop by after work and talk to Alex and figure out, what he wants to do with this. And then that's where I met AJ Papa, like you mentioned, and he was with part of GYT at that time.
That's right. Yeah.
He was creating content.
Get your tournament.
That's
Shout
right.
outs to Glenn Craven.
That's right. So then he started streaming stuff to create content for GYT. And then I saw that. I'm like, what is he doing here? He's live streaming. Like, holy cow. We're actually at this point now, we can do this? Crazy. So that piqued my interest. Okay, so I can do not just post-production footage, I can do live content.
Yeah.
This is a shoo-in. This is where the idea of Level Up really started, was that I got inspiration from AJ doing his streaming and said, why not we just do live footage of the garage stuff, create a show behind it to show people that Alex is actually training people, so that people anywhere in the U.S. at that time, we thought was our region was only the U.S., and show people how Alex plays Street Fighter, how a legend plays Street Fighter. So Alex did his tutorials, and he said, I want to teach people how to play Bison. I'm like, okay, so I talked to AJ.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, he did a Bison tutorial. I totally forgot about
Because I was a Bison player, so I said, why don't you do Bison?
Okay.
Like, everybody knows you for Ryu, just do Bison. So I want to learn too, right?
Right.
That was my greedy part of it. So then I talked to AJ and said, hey, we're going to do a show. And we worked together to pretty much put on the segment at the garage called, I can't remember what it was, but it was like training grounds or something like that. And while he was doing his thing with the other players, we took 15 minutes of his time and did a show on how to play Bison. And if you remember, if you look at in the past footage, it's me and him actually on the sticks.
Yeah, I remember that.
And 2009, again, was a big year for us.
Right.
Because we did the garage every Wednesday. I was there with AJ. I started investing into equipment and really researching what it takes to capture stuff from the Xbox or the PlayStation.
Just to kind of set a good idea of what was going on around this time and why Street Fighter 4 was so important. There's this period of time that we call the FGC Dark Ages, the fighting game community Dark Ages, which was sometime around like maybe after 2004, 2005-ish time up until Street Fighter 4's release, because Evolution was the biggest tournament at the time. And I still remember in 2008, going to Evo, and I just had this weird feeling like what you did and what I was doing at the time. We were all getting old. We were all getting jobs. There was nobody coming in to play anymore. There was like no new youth playing Street Fighter. There were other fighting games, like I don't want to be unfair to like Guilty Gear and Tekken and those games that were still had a pretty consistent scene, but for Street Fighter, it felt like it was kind of...
It was slowing down.
Yeah, it was slowing down.
It was going at our pace now, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. and that was the beautiful thing. So when your excitement for Street Fighter 4 was the excitement that a lot of people felt. And I still remember the launch party. I walked over there and I was not expecting anything, and there was a line going like around the block.
Right.
And that blew my mind. And literally, for the people who weren't around when Street Fighter 4 came back, like that was the resurgence of resurgences. Like that just, and then of course Evolution 2009 happened with Daigo and Justin in grand finals. It was all crazy. And so that kind of sets the tone of what was going on in that year, that where Level Up started getting, started kind of being created, because now it felt like, oh my gosh, there's this scene, it's being reborn. We have this opportunity to do something that we've always wanted to do.
Right. Exactly.
You know? Yeah, so at this point now, you started doing Level Up, and I'm gonna bring up some old school names for you.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
I mean, they're old school now, but you know, House of Sakata, right? How did they start getting involved? There was a house that Vi ran an event at, and then there was guys like Brian, like Walter, and a bunch of
Mike Ortiz,
right, that were all involved with that. How did they get involved in everything?
That's a great transition to the continuation of the story. So after Alex, AJ, and I worked together for a little bit more, I said we need to expand on this.
Okay.
We need to reach a broader audience and really show people what we're doing on Wednesdays, right? And then somewhere along the line, Wednesday Night Fights became a term. We coined it as Wednesday Night Fights.
I'm still not even remembering when that went from just Shingle BMX's garage to Wednesday Night Fights.
I think it just happened to fall on Wednesdays, and I just said we need a better name to really market what we're doing here. And we just sat down, and I think we said, hey, Wednesday, and then Vi said, boxing, night fights. Okay, Wednesday Night Fights, no problem, right? So
I totally can imagine Vi saying that too.
Yeah,
like in his voice.
Ask him. That's where he got the inspiration from, was with the boxing, because it was like Friday Night Fights.
Right.
So he said Wednesday Night Fights. I'm like, let's roll with it. It's great. So from there, we started getting wind of other events happening. Brian Gateb started doing events at his house.
Okay.
Interesting. Called House of Zakata. So we went there and we saw Frank Reyes, Brian Gateb, Mike Ortiz, and Walter Lee, right? And we're like, hey, they're streaming too. Interesting. Okay, all right, okay. And we saw Frank streaming in 720p. High def! Not this component junk that we were doing in the garage.
480p, woo!
Yeah, right. So because of Frank, I found out we can actually stream it in 720p in high def. Like, now that gave me ideas too. And since these guys are already doing events at their house, why not we just join up with them and do something together? So I think Alex spoke to them, and I spoke to Frank and the other couple of guys. Say, we're doing this at the garage. Would you like to kind of come together and form a group to just do these events for people in the FGC? Because people want a place to play. Street Fighter 4 is hot. It was a hot thing, right?
And it was arcade accurate on consoles.
And because of that, well, Xbox at least, right?
Okay, fair.
And we wanted to give people a place to go and just play. We're on this hot streak. And to me, it was like, why not we just ride this wave and be the provider of events?
Okay.
So that kind of created the next evolution in the event production part of Level Up.
Right.
So I started piecing all these things together, putting into the business model, the business plan, and then I told Vi, hey, this is where I'm going with this. Just keep doing what you gotta do. I told Alex, keep doing. AJ, you keep doing what you gotta do. I'll figure it out.
Right.
So while I let the guys focus on their strengths, which was playing, teaching people, streaming, I did research on how to better the production, how to build a startup, how to do the business model, the business plans, the ethics, the processes, all that stuff. So I was taking a lot of stuff I was learning at DirecTV at that time.
Right,
How to be a manager, how to manage people,
Okay.
talking to clients, and really build the foundation that Level Up sits on today.
Right. I mean, it's interesting because, I've often talked about this. I have a lot of people who sit here and talk to me like, oh, I want to be this player, or, I know there's some players right now that are trying to decide between school and playing and everything.
Right.
And, I tell them, the school is important. And I feel like the two of us kind of had very similar paths in that because we went to school, we went to work, we learned a lot of these skills
Yes.
that kind of helped us do all this
Definitely.
stuff. So all the stuff that you learned at your school, your job, DirecTV, kind of helped you with the right mindset to run this kind of a business, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, stay in school, kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I was fortunate to have the education I had and the experience I had at work too. And DirecTV, it's where I met a couple of colleagues who were business partners in the function.
Oh, okay.
So I also learned from them.
Okay.
You know, they taught me what it meant to actually engage people, who
right.
care about people. You know, for me, I always cared about people, but to see it from a business perspective was like really, really game changing for me because it turned from worrying about your own career to worrying about other people's careers.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So then once I built that foundation, that's when I started training everybody else in the company. At that time, we were seven deep, including myself, teaching them about business, how to act and stuff like that.
Even before that, though, was Level Up a thing at this point in time?
We weren't established as an LLC yet.
Okay, but the team Level Up existed.
Yes.
Right?
So I think late summer we were actually a group now.
Okay.
7 of
okay.
us. And then
So that formed after you met the guys from the House of Cicada. So
Correct.
Brian, his handle was Cicada, so that's why
Right.
it was called House of Cicada.
Yes, sir.
But that's where you guys basically created the Level Up group.
Yeah. So once we had a house, Brian's house, I turned that into our meeting area. So every couple weeks, every month, I would say, hey, let's do a team meeting to figure out if you guys are on board with this, figure out our roles, what we need to do, and then I pretty much do a knowledge dump on what I've done and the expectations I have of them and their expectations of me as the one leading the business effort of this. And
how did they? I mean, did they just kind of all come together and say like, "Be our leader," like, or was this just kind of one of those things where you're like, you know what? This team needs a leader, and I'm gonna take this role.
I think it was a little bit of both. More favor in that I needed to do it because it was my idea. I felt the responsibility on my part to actually lead these guys, because at that point in 2009, we were all in this roller coaster of fun, right? Street Fighter 4, doing events where we're talking smack to each other, or we're reliving the arcade days.
It felt like, I was about to say, it felt like the old school days.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's when we came together, everyone thought it was just going to be a fun time the entire way, right? And then I started bringing the whole business part of it. And it got serious, right? And
You ruined their fun.
I kind of ruined it a little bit. Yes, I did, because when I started bringing up titles, responsibilities, because there's like a lot of stuff. There's like financial, the website, the marketing, photography, media, stuff like that. Some were on board right away. Some were like, let me think about it.
Okay.
Right. But up until February 2010, I pushed the guys, hey, we need to form a legit company so we can actually start marketing ourselves as an events and live streaming production company.
Right.
So yeah, February 2010, we became an official LLC.
Nice.
So that's our birthday, February 2010. And as soon as that happened, things got more serious. Mainly because of my fault, because I was pushing really fast.
Okay.
Say, hey guys, I know you want to play games, but if you're serious about building this business, we have to put our efforts into it. I know we all have real-time jobs.
You were being the adult here. You were basically.
Yes. That's the best way to put it. I got consulting from like some of my friends in DirecTV. They're business advisors.
Okay.
One of them still is a business advisor.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, she's an awesome HR person.
Okay. Cool.
And her name's Michelle Suzuki.
Okay.
She helped me out a lot. She helped me talk me through a lot of stuff. And then 2010, we had a great year, or the first quarter.
Right.
Part of the second quarter was we started doing business as Leveled Up. People started asking us to do events for them. It's just small things, but still, I mean, when you start off, you have to go small, right? And do stuff for free a lot. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
But for me, it was fun because I was building something.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, at this point in time too, this is when Wednesday Night Fights really started becoming a thing, right?
Yes.
By this point, you guys had moved off from the Shiggle BMX garage.
Yes.
It wasn't his garage anymore.
Right. 'Cause we outgrew it.
Yeah, literally there was too many people, and in fact, Vi had to run things called band matches to like kick people out so it wouldn't be so crowded, and we all had to chip in money because it was costing the electric bill. It was costing Daniel too much electric bill and everything. And it had moved over to like Dave & Buster's was
Dave & Buster's in Orange, yeah.
Yeah, and then from there it just kept moving lots of different locations.
Yeah, we were at Dave & Buster's for I think maybe a year or so, and then we went to the Proud Bird after that because of SCR, with the SCR at Proud Bird, and then eventually I can't remember what year it was, but we ended up at Super Arcade.
Right. There was, I mean, I remember there was even a period of time where you guys were at the Hollywood Park and Casino.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah,
that was a far drive. That's why I forgot about it.
You're like, I don't want to remember.
Yeah. Okay. I apologize.
No.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. No. I mean, there was all this stuff that happened, and really, what was cool about that was that Level Up started really becoming kind of a household name in the fighting game community because of Wednesday Night Fights.
Right.
Because Wednesday Night Fights was one of the first weekly events, and there was all these strong SoCal players, and it was streamed every week. And I mean, that's how, for example, myself and David even got known for doing commentary, because we would just do commentary at Wednesday Night Fights all the time.
House of Cicada and all that stuff.
Yeah, and so really, I mean, to kind of state the impact, you know, the proper impact that Level Up had at that time. So what you guys were doing really did feel like it was like almost kind of establishing a lot of things that we find as norms today. You know what I mean? You guys kind of set the standard for a lot of like weekly events and such.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, you know, and also the production part of it. For me, presenting ourselves was a big thing, right? The level of image, how we carry ourselves was a big deal for me. So while AJ was funding games on the stream, I was more like, we need to turn this into something that's presentable to the masses, that's presentable to all age groups. So, talking about establishing standards, the production was one thing I take a lot of pride in, because at that time we were always being the C word, talked smacked on about, oh, they're too professional, too stale.
Oh, okay.
The point was not to, kill the buzz or the hype of Street Fighter or Marvel at that time. It's more about how can we reach ages 5 and up, or how can we show people this community is actually still something you can be part of.
Right.
You don't have to be a thug or someone who really knows how to play the game, right? You have to have something that welcomes people into your community, right? So that was my goal was we need to create a product, a stream, and a vision, an image that says, oh, this is for real.
Right.
Street Fighter is back, right? And that's what we want to do. And I don't know how much of an impact it had on other productions, but I was trying to find ways to integrate, normal TV aspects of it into FGC, and I just twist it around and innovate how we turn a standard camera, 2-player, blah, blah, blah buttons into something that's enjoyable.
Because I know, one of the advantages of having Wednesday Night Fights is you guys got to experiment a lot. You guys got to try a lot of different things. Like one of the examples I always remember was you guys were one of the first ones that started integrating community tweets on the stream. Like you would start putting the tweet.
Yeah, like just random text on the stream.
And now everybody does it, right? But that was kind of like one of the ways that you guys would try to involve the community and stuff.
Yeah, that would be, I think, more of an AJ thing, because he was like, hey, I can get data on here. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Then I would tell him how to show it on there. But then we also did head-to-head webcam player stations at House of Cicada.
That's right.
So we did that. I don't want to say we did it first, but I think I was the one who really abused that feature. And it also made things more presentable, because you can see both players in their element, in their game playing,
Well, so there is one thing that I do want to talk about.
Sure.
This is kind of, it's like one of the dark periods of Level Up history, right?
Definitely.
And so I think this was 2010, right?
2010.
So, yeah.
Evo 2010.
Yeah, so you already know what I want to talk about. Yeah, okay, so you guys, we mentioned that Evo had started streaming, Evolution was trying to do streams, and so what they want to do now was hire a different group to help run the stream, and Level Up was hired in 2010.
That's right.
You guys were running the stream for that whole entire weekend, and I mean, you can tell me what happened, right? So
yeah, so leading up to that moment during July or June, whenever Evo 2010 was, Level Up was like on a high. We were like at the apex of performance, right? We became a household name, like you said.
Right.
Everyone knew about Wednesday night fights. We had a lot of successes,
Mm-hmm.
right? We weren't making money, but that's not the point. The point was to build the company,
Right.
So we were like up there. And so that's when Evo asked us, hey, can you stream it? You know, so we did. We were like, okay, this is a big event. We need to create something that is memorable for people. So that's when we built a new rig at Brian's house. We tested it for 24 hours straight, right? It worked flawless, right?
Of course.
Of course. And I worked on the graphics up until 4 o'clock in the morning, just for that gig. Because it was hard trying to figure out how to make graphics that look better than what we usually do.
Right.
So we did that, and then we packed up the next morning, and headed to Vegas. Set up, everything went fine. Then we start powering everything up. I'm like, okay, now there's glitches. Why?
Oh, wow. So you guys are noticing glitches even before?
Yeah, it was because the Canons wanted a third webcam. And of course, back then, USB buses, I mean, I'm going technical in it, but it's like you can't put too many webcams on a single USB bus line, right? And we had to get like extenders and stuff like that. So it was an element in the flow that we weren't
ready for.
We were ready for, but we didn't extensively test it.
Right.
Right. So we tested 2 webcams, the game feed, and that's pretty much all we had. Back then, we didn't have the $20,000 equipment yet. Right? So we pushed it. We definitely pushed it. We had the commentary cam, and then we had two player cams, I think. We did a head-to-head or something like that. So day one kind of went okay. Right? We had a couple times when the rig froze. Oh my gosh. So at the time, AJ was the producer. I was just more a director and stuff like that. So AJ's instinct was to hard reset the PC every time if a freeze happened. And I'm like, okay, just try not to do it too much.
Right.
So Saturday happens a couple times. So amongst the Ustream issues that we had and other stuff, we had this coming up, right? I'm like, darn, this is not good. So come Sunday, we're like, okay, we had a couple of glitches. Luckily, it happened during breaks or during unimportant moments. Grand final of Street Fighter, last round, last match.
Daigo Umehara versus Ricky Ortiz.
Out of nowhere, the rig freezes again, the last round. And then I wish I caught AJ before he did it, the hard reset, because the footage was still, the feed was still on the screen. Oh. Even though the PC was frozen, there was still stuff on the screen moving.
Right.
So before I can stop him, he did the hard reset, and then it cut everything.
Right.
Because obviously that was the heart of the production.
Yeah.
And so, it cut it out.
So
and then
the
hall went silent, and everyone's like, no, right? And then for me, literally, my heart sank. My heart hit the ground. I was almost in tears. And I just sat there in disbelief that this happened, right? Because this was like our big moment.
Right.
So it definitely was a dark time.
It was pretty infamous at the time, right?
And we were just, there was no positive around it.
Right.
No matter what anybody said, I knew deep down this is close to the end here. This was, we had this awesome ride, 2009, 2010, part of 2010, and now this happened.
Right.
So we packed up that night, went home, and I was devastated.
Right.
I could not talk to anybody.
Right.
So I was just stunned.
Did you feel like that might have been kind of like I don't want to call it like the end, but like maybe that's the end of the ride, maybe Level Up is done? How are you feeling at the time, or did you really feel like you could rebuild it all the way back up?
So I had maybe a 5% optimism in myself at that time, right? And a 95% because to be on the grand stage and have something like this happen, and the audience at home and live at the venue, they saw it. There's no getting away from it. There's nothing you can do about it. So yes, of course, all the smack talking and the forums came up, and we heard it for months, right? And I thought it was the end.
Right.
Because
it almost became a meme, dropping during grand finals kind of became a meme at that point in time.
Of course. Yeah. And that's when I consulted my friend at DirecTV, business advisor now, and I'm like, what do I do?
Right.
So she brought in another of her colleagues who is infamous on building businesses and kept bouncing back from things like this. So I talked to him on the phone with her. looped in Alex too on conference call. It was mainly for me because I don't know. I know Alex was devastated, but I don't think he understood like the depth of it.
Well, Alex is always kind of a, he's very positive. Let's do this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we had that call, and then I'm like, so I had some hope. Right? He said, "This is what you need to do."
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So we kept quiet about it. We tried not to fuel the fire.
Right.
Right. Just keep doing what you gotta do. What we did best, and it was gonna take time, and it did.
Yeah.
I think what really came out of this was a humbling experience of saying, whether it's because of fate or faith or the man upstairs, it's that you can't stay up here all the time.
It's interesting because, just to kind of do it from the player side, tell the story from the player side, just recently at South by Southwest, Punk, who's the best in the country right now at Street Fighter V from the US, had his pool, he beat everybody, and then he went to the top 8 and went 0-2. And afterwards, he was devastated. I saw him in the back room, and he had his head down on the table and everything. And I told him, it's losses like that that will propel you to be even stronger.
That's right.
And that's kind of, I'm assuming that's kind of how you took it, and how you turned that kind of a negative into a motivation to a positive thing, right?
Definitely. And that's kind of how it's like, I don't know if all of us were like it. I know I wasn't, because maybe some of the guys were there and said, yeah, we're the best. For me, I was like, no, we're always growing. We're never the best, right? Like I always see it as there's always room to grow for me. But maybe, someone saw that, fate, like I said, or God said, you guys are getting too cocky. As a whole, right? The actions of others, getting too cocky, we're gonna strike you down. So that did happen. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? So through the, Michelle, she helped me understand that this is a learning lesson for you guys. Maybe you guys did reach your peak, and now you need to find a way to see past your successes and build upon more.
Right.
So then I started opening my eyes even wider. I'm like, okay. And not to take credit from the other production crews out there. It's because of this moment, Spooky came up.
Right.
I Play Winner had the chance to really step up and say, we're better than Level Up. To me, I a little bit took insult, but a part of me was like, good for you guys, right? Because now you guys are gonna set the new standard that people look to.
Right.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm gonna be, dumped on by the community. But because of that, I'm gonna get better, even better.
Right. And I mean, obviously, Team Spooky, Victor Fontanez, really built a great name he was starting to do the weekly events on the East Coast, and he kind of became the premier streamer at that point in time.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, he was the guy. And it's a funny story. I think at that Evo, Spooky went to Alex and said, man, guys, I love what you do, we'll level up. You inspired me to do it. And I'm like, wow, was that a foreshadowing? Was that like the trigger that says, okay, it's time for you to come up, right? But that's how I see it. And I have no ill will against I Play Winner or Team Spooky.
Of course, we're all in the same goal. We're all in the same goal.
Right. And then there was moments where he took jabs at us live on his streams, and we respond back.
I remember that was all drama.
And then I learned from that really quick. And my advisor said, cut that junk out, because you don't need this stuff. You have to focus on rebuilding your brand.
Right.
So again, another learning lesson for me.
Okay.
Which I try to pass down to the rest of the crew.
Right.
But around that time, I think some of our members started to drop out or level up.
Right, and this actually kind of leads to another question that I really want to ask. So obviously, you're approaching this from very much a business standpoint. You are like looking at this, like you were even mentioning, like demographics, 5 and up, all these things like this. So how did you? Because a lot of these guys, I'm sure they were trying to get into this because they thought it would be fun. They could do all this cool stuff and everything. As the leader of the group, was that something in your mind? How did you try to balance, the hardcore business side of things? Like, hey, we got to do this, we need to make sure this all stuff. And then also make sure that the guys in the group are still having fun and they're still
Right.
enjoying themselves?
So again, I mentioned earlier in the discussion how I took on a lot of the business side of it. That's because I want them to continue doing what they have to do,
Okay,
which was
okay.
playing games, right?
Right.
But for me, the way I connect to the community is through my productions.
Okay.
Always try to capture the essence and soul with FGC
Right.
through the camera.
Okay.
Because if I know I'm robbing someone of the experience who can't attend the event, so how can I bring the event to the home?
Right. Okay.
Right? And I always try to inject soul, how I see things,
Right.
and let people at home feel it. If I can do that, and they said, oh, it felt like I was there, I did my job,
Okay.
right? So, yes, I was hardcore business, but I also had the empathy, the remorse,
Okay.
and
Okay.
through that, and I did it through my productions.
Okay.
And through leading the guys, it was giving them opportunity to grow as well. You know, so I would always coach Alex on how to approach clients or how to talk business.
Right.
You know, if he was going to be the face of the company, he had to learn how to be the face of the company.
Right.
You can only get so far with your history of being the champion.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I will say this much, that the growth that I've seen from Vi from very early on to, you know, where Level Up is now, from that business side of things, you know, he has definitely made huge headway in being a really great diplomat for our scene.
Definitely, and a lot of it was me bickering at him. you don't know it. It's just every time he posts something, I'm like, you can't say that, dude. You want people to know you as like this forever. Once it's on the internet, it's forever. You know? So it was a lot of constant coaching. You know, and then trying to get him to understand what it means to participate in running the business.
Right.
Right. So while he still actively plays a lot, sometimes he'll still get into his gaming mindset.
Yeah.
I got to remind him, like, hey, dude, hold on. We still got business to run, right?
Right.
So, then it came to the point where I had to get out of that light that we were in and just focus mainly on the back end of it.
Okay.
Is because if no one was managing the guys, I had to do it. If they weren't doing things, I had to fill in the cracks or pick up the slack. And that's like a good thing and bad thing as well, you know, because you're trying to do good for the company, but then you're also, if you're not telling your members or your partners that you're screwing up,
Right.
then they can't learn, right?
Right.
Of course, if they screw up and they do it again and again, it becomes a very elongated
Right.
lesson,
Right.
you know?
Well, let me ask you this though, because I'm talking about, you know, how making sure that, you know, the other guys are still having fun. But what was it for you personally? Because were you having the fun? Because obviously it's easier to do things when you're enjoying it, right?
Of course.
So what was your motivating factor? What kept you going with this?
So even though, you know, we had our internal debates and disagreements, what really kept me going was that I didn't want to fail at the vision I had.
Okay.
You know, I haven't reached what I wanted to do yet.
Okay.
I was getting there. I was taking necessary steps to get there. But I always wanted to still be like the leader in providing entertainment in some fashion, whether it's through a tournament, a broadcast of a panel, or just giving someone at home to see this is what gaming is about.
Right.
This is what you know, us guys did back in the day, and now we're bringing it to the younger generation. You know, the enjoyment of seeing your friends, being around them just maybe an hour, 2 hours a day, or you know, one day in the week, and just say, we have something in common, right? And that's what really fueled me. Is like, a lot of people accused us of, oh, we're only out for the money and blah blah.
Right.
Like, gosh, even nowadays we can't, you know, make money. You know, yes, I got equipment, but a lot of it came from out of the pocket money, costs, right? People don't realize that.
So, okay, that's great, because this is something I want to touch on too, is that like, at the start, every company when it starts, right, needs financial input and such, right? Was that just you? Were you putting in a lot of that money? I mean, like, I know for a lot of these, like, for example, when the Cannons were creating Evo, they were, you know, they were putting all the financial, they were handling all the financial burden, right? So was that kind of similar thing that you were doing?
Same thing. You know, all the production equipment, all the stuff.
Just like
AJ put some stuff for, you know, his rig, But for me, I had a bigger vision, which costs a lot more than.
Yeah, just like buying that $900 camcorder, right?
Exactly. So I took the sacrifice. I said, I have some savings from my real job. That's why I still have a real job today, is to
Right.
fund the moments when I do need a big purchase.
Right.
So I put money towards that, buying monitors, consoles, production equipment, anything I can do to better the product
Right.
and better the company and help us, and not just the production side, but also, if you need software,
Right.
put money into that. So I think the first 3-4 years we didn't really make anything. It was out of pocket costs, and it wasn't, I think, late 2014 where are like, okay, let's put half of what we need for something called the TriCaster. It was a big thing back then, right? And it still is.
I remember.
I still have the hardware. I had like the second to latest version of it.
That
but
thing was like 20K or something?
That was about 35K.
35K. Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
I tried to go high and I didn't go high enough.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But the reason why I looked at that was because it had the necessary amount of inputs.
Right.
Right? Because I want to capture everything in the event, not just the players, not just commentary. I want to capture multiple game feeds, the crowd, because like I said, I always want to bring it to home.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So it was out of pocket costs, and then we did a couple of events to finally pay back the members who contribute to it. I think me and AJ, we contributed the most, and Frank was the second most.
Right.
So it was us three who funded that. Then I think end of the year, or maybe end of the next year, we said, hey, here's a check back for the loan, and we made it back.
Well, so I mean, this is kind of an interesting thing because there's this feeling around the community where like if a group is making a ton of money, it's like bad, right?
Right.
Like there was like, you guys are out for the money, like you said, right? So how do you one, respond to that, and two, how do you balance that on your end? Like, is that something that you think about a lot? Because obviously right now, even for something like as recent as the most recent Southern California regionals, like that's a lot of work. That's a lot of cost for that, right?
Definitely.
And people probably don't realize how much this stuff costs, right?
Right. So a lot of the people who are vocal are mainly the guys who are partly trolls sometimes. But sometimes there are people who are valid accountants understanding how do you guys not make a ton of money from this, right? And I think John Choi was the first one who actually posted his finance records in public. And for me, I didn't want to do that because we had like a lot of confidential stuff happening.
Okay.
Because I had to pay staff, I had to pay venue. I mean, there's like a lot of secrets in those documents that say, oh, that's how they got that.
Right.
Or that's what they got, and I didn't want to show that. So I don't really respond in a public way. I just say, hey, what if we do make any money, it goes towards the next event.
Right.
That's why I still have a real-time job. If I was making money, I would, I would do this production stuff full time, and that's not the case. So I work 2 jobs, essentially as level up in my career.
Right. Of course.
Now I kind of see it as 2.5 jobs because I do the Red Bull stuff as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, that's how I battle it. I just say, hey, if I don't have the funds to go towards the next event, you're not going to have an event, or you're going to have a crummy one.
Right.
So I don't feed the trolls by proving myself. I prove through my actions.
Okay.
Right. Words only mean so much. Right.
Okay.
That's, like they say it. Your actions speak louder than words.
Right. So, at some point in time, you did manage to build yourselves back up.
Yes.
I know Wednesday Night Fights became like kind of the powerhouse that it usused to be,
Right.
And so you recovered after the Evo
Yes.
2010
Yes.
incident. And not only that, but there's one thing I want to touch on, shifting to the side a little bit. One of the cool things that I really liked about what you guys did with Level Up too is that you guys started doing a bunch of other stuff as well, not even just fighting game events. You were like turning it into a business here, right? So I know you guys did a TED Talk. I think you guys streamed a wedding, didn't you?
Yes.
You did like World of Tanks at like E3 events and such.
So after the 2010 incident, I started to think about other avenues and places that needed a stream. So we got together in a room and said, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? This is what I want to do, but let me know what you guys want to do. So we spoke about it. So I actually bust out 7 easel pads, one for each person, to write down what they want to do, right?
Okay.
And we had ideas, and the guys who had ideas didn't really push for them. because again, remember, they're gamers, right?
Right,
They're
yeah,
Street
yeah,
Fighter, fighting game guys.
Right, right.
And it was pretty much just me again, by myself, saying we got to do this event. So my friend had a wedding coming up. We tried to stream it. Internet was junk, so
course, yeah.
we recorded it as a live event, and I made a DVD for them or Blu-ray disc for them.
Okay.
Did a couple of TED Talks as well, and I can't remember the other one that we did, but we started venturing, like you said, into World of Tanks, the more esports game.
Right, yeah.
And that was actually because of AJ. I'm gonna give him credit for that because he actually went to E3. He met Craig, part of ESS at the time, before they got bought out by ESL.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And he introduced himself, and we got the Guild Wars event during PAX Prime, which wasn't at PAX itself; it was outside.
Okay. Okay.
So that was our venture into the more esports type games.
Right.
So in that same weekend, we did Border Tanks. So Saturday, Guild Wars. Right after, we broke down, drove to the venue, dropped our stuff off, set up in the morning, Sunday for Border Tanks.
Oh, man.
And because of those two events, we got one more event from ESS. We helped them with the Halo stuff. And then started getting attention again.
Right.
Right. So good game. At that time, they were just EG. So they contacted us for some of the, how can I say it, reveals of games like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, we did a lot. You know, I Am 8-Bit contacted us to help with Guild Wars again.
Okay.
You know, so we did Guild Wars, we did Mortal Kombat, we did Halo. What else did we do?
Right. Well,
Dota 2, we did that in Las Vegas during CES.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yes, with HyperX, a good game at that time.
So, I mean, now that at this point it starts, like you said, you kind of felt like you're back into the limelight, right? You're getting back in there. And then in terms of coming back to the FGC,
right?
You guys have been hit up by Capcom for the online events.
Yep.
You guys got hit up by Red Bull to do all the Proving Ground stuff.
Right.
And then just this last year, for Saturday of Capcom Cup, you guys were tasked, you guys were hired to do Capcom Cup.
Yep,
right?
day one.
So a lot of this kind of like, it feels like you're back in that limelight, but I want to hear from your perspective. Now that you've kind of gotten a chance to do Capcom Cup, which is like one of the bigger events, one of probably the two biggest events of the year for fighting games right now. Do you feel like you've re-achieved that status that you guys were at before the EVO 2010, or do you just not want to jinx it?
No, it's a moment I always think about a lot because it really shaped my character and how I deal with the situations nowadays. Do I feel like we achieved the limelight? I can't say it was that same exact feeling.
Okay.
But as from milestones for myself, I felt that 2015 when I did all those events, I felt like I was reaching my goal was to become a more broad production company, more event planning company.
Right.
Closer to the huge milestone I wanted for Level Up.
Okay.
I don't want to be known just for FGC stuff.
Okay.
Because me as a person, I
dream big.
I dream big, but also I have hands in a lot of things I do.
Okay.
Growing up, I was always dabbling in many things.
Okay.
Woodworking, electronics, things like that.
Taekwondo.
Yeah. Anything I can learn to better my skill set, I always did. And I applied that to Level Up too. It's like, what else can Level Up do? Because to be pigeonholed in a single industry is bad for business, but also become stale, right? It's not fun anymore. Like you don't challenge yourself all the time. It's like you have the skill set. What else can you apply it to? So I think Level Up from the more esports side of it, a more event planning side. Yes, we've hit a goal, but we haven't even damaged the water of what's out there for us. And I'm always pushing for that. It's like we need to become big.
But given the FGC roots that you have, that you started this whole thing with the FGC, is that still where you feel like you would be most proud if you could take it to the absolute next level, right?
Yes, FGC is definitely was and still is what I want to do to bring them to the grand stage. Whatever I can help with, whatever Spooky, I Play Winner, and those guys can help with. It's less about the competition amongst each other, but now it's like working together.
Right.
in the sense that we are achieving the same goal, and we're not going to go the whole political route. We're
Right.
not going to talk smack to each other. And
Because
we
I
shouldn't.
know, like at Evo, you guys have been doing a lot of the secondary streams there as well, right? Even as recent at some recent Evos.
See, I think the recent one we did was we helped Gutex at another casino
that's right.
do his
Yeah,
bar
that's
fights
right.
thing, and then I think a couple years ago we did help Mad Cats with their booth.
Okay, okay.
But mainly all the guys who helped us in the past have graduated to other companies or the individual businesses
Right.
to help Evo out.
Right.
We ourselves aren't on the Evo floor per se, but we help things outside of Evo.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting because a lot of people are probably thinking to themselves, oh, you know, well, you're doing a lot of things outside of FGC, but I mean, that is the business side of things. And that's why I brought up, you know, the TED Talks and everything like that. When I saw that, I wasn't thinking like, oh, they're leaving the FGC, rah, you traders.
Yeah.
I was actually seeing it like, this is a smart business thing,
Yeah.
and expands your portfolio. Not only that, but you get a lot of experience
Right.
with different kinds of events. You can bring, it's like playing multiple fighting games. Right? You tell people to play other fighting games because they teach you different skills.
Right.
And going to all these different things, like learning how to stream a wedding, you might actually learn some weird trick that you can apply to
Definitely.
The FGC, right?
Yep.
So it's
And you know, like you mentioned, we did get small talk smack too. It's like, oh, what are they doing now? They don't care about FGC, blah blah. I heard that.
People
I heard that
actually
too.
say
Yes,
that?
yes.
Oh, damn. Okay, I didn't
heard
even know.
that too.
Okay, I didn't even know.
But then it's like they don't understand. Well, maybe now they do, but back then it's like you had to, you know, help others too. FGC is always going to be like our roots,
Right.
definitely.
Okay.
But there's so many other people out there who need help, right? You know,
Yeah.
and you know, I see that. You know, Michelle saw that, and she's like, "You guys need to branch out." Like, I have a church who has a grand opening coming up. Can you help with the stream? I said, "Let's do it."
Oh, dang. Okay.
You know, so I helped with the grand opening of their service.
That's
two,
cool.
2 days in a row, right?
Okay.
So people like that's stuff that people don't know.
Right,
And people shun at it like, oh, he's doing church stuff. It's like, come on, man. I'm not forcing, you know, God or the Bible down your throat.
Right,
So I'm
right,
helping someone achieve what they need to do.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point now, what do you see for yourself and for Level Up in the future? Like, what you've obviously said, like, we've gotten back to a point now where Level Up kind of has that same prestige that it used to have, and you've kind of surpassed that even just a little bit. But what do you see for the future of your group right now, and what kind of new innovations would you like to see in the fighting game community?
Sure. So obviously we're kind of conquering the online tournament stuff.
Oh, right.
You know, that's actually Alex's effort. He brought up the idea and said, try it and see if it works. And he did. And now we actually have the Capcom stuff,
Official
the
online.
Red Bull Proving Grounds online stuff. So that's he put the work in that one.
Okay.
And I just kind of helped him along the way, helped him with the negotiations, the budgeting, stuff like that, right?
So is it like one of those things where you're like, it's like seeing your child, like, you know, oh my God, he's learned it.
Kind of, yes. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, because now he has a project that he can manage himself.
Right.
Because mainly, you know, all projects go through me. You know, like so on some of them, he'll talk to the client. Then from that point on, I take over from beginning to end. You know, so but now he has something for himself, which is great.
Okay, cool.
So what I see for the future for us is we need to expand more into the internal structure.
Okay.
You know, right now, because it's really just me, Frank, and Alex now.
Okay, okay.
And a lot of it, we go through all the business struggles. It's we go through the complacency, the decisions other partners make. You know,
Turnaround even.
yeah,
right,
turnaround,
yeah,
and I handle all the stresses of that.
Right.
And as you mentioned before, Alex is a gung ho guy.
Right.
But from my perspective, he doesn't always see the deeper levels of it, and I'm like, oh, right. So I think for us, we have to grow internally to be more versatile in running the business. It can't just be me all the time.
Right.
And it can't just be a couple guys having fun and me not having fun, right? That's the struggle that I'm currently going through.
Okay.
We need to grow more as a business internally, and then that will expand to the people we bring in.
Right.
The staff will start seeing that they want to be part of the organization.
Right.
And then from there, we can cover more of the states.
Okay.
Maybe do more international events.
Ooh, okay.
And you know, again, one of my other milestones is to become the go-to for fighting game production in all aspects. If there's someone just came in and says, here's a piece of paper and says, I want to throw a fighting game event, no problem. Currently, I already plan all that out already.
Right.
But I don't build the stages, I don't build the lights and stuff like that.
Dang.
So I want to go into that realm now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Not just do live production.
So you guys can craft the stage exactly how you want it to be. Okay.
Right. So that's my other milestone.
Right.
Right. Because I think I already conquered the live production space.
Okay.
I can take a client's idea, talk with him, find out what they need versus what they want, build out a plan for them, execute it, and say, here's your live production.
Okay.
Can you help me with the stage? Not really. I got to talk to a friend. I got to talk to a friend to help me out with that.
Right, yeah.
So I want to conquer that space and then become a full-fledged production company.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then if someone says, you know, I don't have time to talk to these guys to help me build a stage or build my venue out, can you help me out? No problem. I got it.
Got it.
You know, and that's what I want. That's my next step for level up.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, we've spanned over like 20 years now, basically, just talking about all the stuff that you've done. And, you know, what I'm hoping people figure out and you know, learned from this is how much Level Up and yourself, you know, kind of, you know, establish, like I said earlier, establish a lot of the norms, things that we take for granted now. A lot of things that the FGC is used to, a lot of the innovation came from Level Up and a lot of the things that you guys did, right? So I guess as a final question that I have, what do you want the fighting game community to remember Jimmy Nguyen or ShinJN? How do you want them to remember you? What is the legacy that you want to be able to have when someone finally writes a history book
about me?
about the fighting game community, you know, about the fighting game community?
I kind of just want people to know that it's not just the things out on the surface that are important. Like, yes, players and celebrities, all that stuff. People behind the scenes is really what makes the magic happen. Right? It helps the people in the front. So if someone to write a story about me, I just say, hey, Level Up was more than just the players, more than Alex Valle. You know, it's people like me, the guys I'm training right now, like Romy, David, all the staff that are now, how to do production, how to understand business, how to talk to each other, how to be a team. Those things matter. It's not just about what you want in gaming, right? It's about how you work as a team, how you treat each other as people, how you help each other grow and succeed at what you want to do. You know, a good story I have with David Mejia, Kiam, he's one of our staff at one of the fights. He never touched the camera, didn't have any interest in it. But at SCR, I threw him on the camera because I asked him. I asked all my guys, like, what do you want to do? Oh, I'm open this, open that. So I threw him on the camera. And after SCR 2016, he's like, man, I really love being behind the camera. This is really fun. And so then from that point on, I put him on camera and I said, hey, look, we're all a team here. I know I direct the shows. I know I hook everything up, but I'm gonna teach you how to be part of the team. So I would ask you, say, if you have ideas on how to take a shot, let me know. I'll say, okay, take it or not do it. And now he's going back to school and he's majoring in film.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so exciting. That's really cool. That's
so yeah, like what I want to be known for is an opportunity builder for people.
Okay.
And I create opportunities for people and also teach them the craft they need to do. Because I have so much to give and not many people to give it to. Right? Everyone thinks Level is all about Street Fighter.
Right.
It's a lot more. You know,
Okay.
It's so many fundamental things people don't understand that are going on behind the scenes.
Right. It's so hard for people to see how much work it takes into putting events.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm in a fortunate position where I get to see you guys work really hard. I get like at Texas Showdown, I was sitting there back there and I was listening to you going, oh, get this shot, do this, you know, cut to this camera and all these things. Like all these little subtle things that you think that just kind of happen automatically.
Yeah.
And it's weird because when a production goes smoothly, like I've always said this, that if a production goes perfectly, people don't really notice it because you did it right.
Right.
People will notice it when you mess up.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so it's hard to give credit a lot of the times to the people behind the scenes. And, you know, and you've definitely done a ton of work behind the scenes. You've been doing it for, like we said, over 20 years now, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, at this point in time, if you could go back and tell Jimmy from 20 years ago anything, like, is there anything, what would you tell him at this point?
I'd probably tell myself, just keep doing what you gotta do.
Okay.
Because you're on the right path.
Okay.
Only thing I would probably warn him of is try not to do business with friends. Because it becomes really hard.
Yeah.
The mantra that people say is don't do business with friends because, your feelings get in the way and you have higher expectations of your friends to do it. So, if people were, I mean, there's some qualities, yes, that I need to work on, like, being push people hard to work. You gotta work hard. And I always worked hard growing up, but that's what I need people to understand about me too, is I push my guys to become better. It's not because I'm a slave driver or because I hate them. It's because I know there's potential there.
Right.
You
sound like, now it sounds like a sports coach.
That's essentially kind of what I am. It's doing all the setup for myself. I can't do everything now. Right. The productions are getting larger. I have to take more calls. I got to take more meetings. So I got to train these guys. Right. So while I am, the jack of all trades or the modern renaissance man of business, and I do feel like level up is on my shoulders. Okay. I got to pass down the torch at some point, or part of it, right? I can't sit in there and do graphics anymore. I can't do video reels anymore. It's, you guys, please do this. I know you'd like to do it. That's why I always talk to my guys. What interests you? I get personal with everybody. It's like, while Alex focuses on the gamers and the community, I focus on the people I work with, the people around me. It's like, hey, I'm approachable too, but not on a gaming level. Right, on a professional, career, personal level. That's what.
Well, I'll ask one last question because I just really want to know. Yeah. Do you miss gaming? Do you miss competing in the tournaments?
I do. I do. Funny question, because I'm not sure if you remember or know of Arcadium.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he posted on Twitter that, hey, we're doing Queen of Noobs number 12 or something like that. Right? It's an ST tournament. Right. And I said, hey, can I participate? Because I haven't touched, competed in forever, right? Since 2002, Evil UCLA. And he's like, yeah, sure. So I played in it. Man, you have no idea how that adrenaline came back. The rush of competing, and just beating people, and all the guys in there like, he's not a noob, he's too good. But just playing made me understand that this is what it was like to be a Street Fighter. Okay. And I'm gonna coin this term. It's tournament atrophy. Dude, I was missing uppercuts like crazy. I'm like, that should be an uppercut, not a jab, or that should be a tiger knee, not a kick. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was feeling it. I'm like, man, I'm so out of shape from competing. And after that tournament, even though I got second place after everything, I was like, man, I missed that. That felt really good. It felt really good.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I'm glad we had this talk. Like, I learned a bunch of stuff that I didn't even know about you.
There's a lot of history that
I know, right? And this is what I'm hoping that we can get, for all the viewers at home, so they can actually learn all about people behind the scenes, to learn what the people that you don't get to see and who have probably done more for the community than anybody knows, know. So thank you for coming out here. And I hope everybody at home, enjoyed this talk and this conversation, and any place where people can follow you on social media. Yeah, so on Twitter, I'm at ShinJN _, because someone has my name for some reason. It's an active account. So ShinJN, that's underscore. That's my Twitter. Facebook, I keep it personal, but mainly you can follow me on Twitter. And also, I'm doing a new series called Behind the Curtain at Wednesday Night Fights. That's right. And my focus is to, like this series, to focus on the guys who don't get the spotlight. Right. Focus on the guys who do the stuff behind the scenes, because they need the spotlight too. And I really appreciate Yahoo bringing me out here, and James for interviewing me. That was awesome. It's a great talk, Yeah, I know. I was like, old man stuff. People don't know. I've known Jimmy for years. So like I said, I've known a lot about your history. I didn't know everything, obviously, but it was great to learn a lot more and to hear about all these stories. So once again, thank you for coming by. Sure. So I hope everybody at home enjoyed that as well. And we'll see you next time on Icons.